Alrighty guys, we're on a new lake today. It is 8 a.m. February 7th. Probably single digits out here. It's very cold, and I don't think anybody's been really on this lake lately. There's really no public access area. It's just along right along a road, and it's a little, I don't know, 20-acre lake. But the road right away butts right up to the lake, and we're in 14 feet of water. So I feel like this lake's kind of overlooked. There's a bigger lake nearby that I have to drive past this one, and I fished that bigger lake this summer, and I always drive past this little lake, and I can literally see the shoreline from the road, and I always see a bunch of panfish and everything, so I figured I'd give it a shot. You can't fish it in the summer with a boat or anything, so we just parked on the side of the road and we hopped right down the bank. I'm gonna probably pop a jig down there. We're in 14 feet of water. I think max depth in this lake is like 17 to 20 feet, but not a big lake at all. We're the only ones out here, not a single track. But hopefully we can get on some panfish and maybe set up some tip-ups too. But I'm excited. Something new, and I love trying something new. So stay tuned. Hopefully we get on some fish. Not marking any fish down there right now, but that doesn't mean the sun won't come once we drop that jig down there. Probably jig here for a little bit, see if I can mark anything, and then drill another hole and drop the underwater camera down. I'm definitely going to want to be jigging in the shack today, though. It is nippy. Beautiful though out. I mean, super calm. Bluebird skies yesterday. We got 50-mile-an-hour winds, so it's just terrible fishing. But luckily I had to work, so it worked out good. First drop down. Let's see if we can mark anything. Oh, there's a fish. Came out of nowhere. There we go. What do we got? Tiny perch. First fish, first hole. Hopefully they're bigger. Just caught that little perch, and there's another mark down there, it looks like. Bunch of fish down there now, holy moly. What do we got here? It's a nicer fish. Bluegill. Decent bluegill. There's a lot of fish down there now. Holy crap, they came out of nowhere. That's a cool looking fish. Kind of a different looking bluegill, long and stocky. Let's get down there again. Jesus, there's a lot of fish. I mean, just that first perch came off right off the bottom, and now there's a freaking swarm of them down there. I think we might have a good day. I mean, they're just coming up after it as I'm dropping down. Boom. That's a good fish. What do we got here? Oh yeah. Oh, that's a freaking nice bluegill. Look at that. Heck yeah. That's a keeper. I mean, that's a nice 8-inch bluegill. We're gonna try to catch a limit today. Alright guys, we just caught that nice bluegill, and there's still some fish down there. My hands are freezing, but I want to catch this one last fish down here. He's coming up for it. That's a big mark. He's about to smoke it. There we go. Not as big as that last one, but a decent one. And that's a keeper though. It's a nice fish. They're really stocky. I mean, that's a good eater. There's two. What a great start. I might put some tip-ups out, to be honest. Alright guys, so got two keepers out of that first hole I drilled. Might set up the shack there, but figured I'd move around, try to warm up here, and put some tip-ups in. Obviously there's fish in the area, so we're gonna pop some tip-ups in here. Talk a little bit how I got here today. It was a 20-minute drive on a side-by-side, and it'd probably only be 5 minutes in a vehicle, but we had to take some windy back roads to avoid the highway, since you cannot drive the side-by-side on the highway. So it was kind of a cool ride, but luckily we have the side-by-side, so that's much warmer than a four-wheeler. But we don't have the side-by-side on the lake. I'm probably 50 yards from the side-by-side. We just parked on the side of the road in the road right away, and this whole shoreline on this one side is all road right away, right up to the lake. And there's people that have docks here, but they really have them in the road right away. And there was talks on a different lake down the road, same township, that the town wanted to remove these docks. So I mean, technically the docks aren't supposed to be here. So we just hopped right off the road down into the lake. It's a pretty steep drop off. It's like straight down, so probably gonna have to lighten up the sled to get everything up the hill. But we're gonna put this tip-up in, and hopefully we get some flags. This one's in 15 feet of water. Doesn't look like there's much weeds down there on the Markham, the flasher, but I mean, there's got to be something down there. It's hard to say. If there is weeds, they really aren't sprouted up. They're probably matted down. There's obviously fish around. And drop this one down. Be nice to catch some bass or something. I really don't know what's in here for game fish. I'm sure there's bass, since there's panfish, but maybe we'll catch some pike. Gonna put her about a foot off the bottom, 1.5 foot roughly. Perfect. Hopefully this bad boy's going up soon. We're gonna pop the other one in, and then probably start jigging at that hole. We're actually marking fish down there right now. So, I mean, I might jig around these tip-ups too. This whole area might be a good spot to jig. Second tip-up is in roughly the same depth as the other one, 14 feet. I think the other one was 15. But, I mean, we're only 50 yards off shore and we're in 14 feet, so it drops off pretty fast. And it's going to be a foot off the bottom as well. And second tip up is in. Let's get jigging. Well, look at that, guys. Just put that second tip up down, and it was just starting to jig, and it went up. I saw it turn a little bit. It's a good start. Oh yeah, fish on it for sure. We're on, baby. Oh, it just shook off, I think. Yep, minnow's still there. He was on for a little bit. No way, that fish just came up and hit it again. I'm gonna let him take it. It looked like a bass. That's crazy. And we're on. Oh my gosh. That was insane. He popped off and that fish literally hit it at the top of the ice. Oh, that was so cool. Minnow is still good. And that's the first bass out of here. First flag, first bass. He got off and he hit it again right on top of the ice. That was crazy. Awesome start. All right, guys. I'm marking a lot of fish, but I'm not getting any bites. I'm know if they're all small or what the deal is, but caught those first couple off the bat in a different hole. And I switched holes, still marking fish. We're gonna drop the underwater camera down there and see what's down there. Very curious. Find it odd to catch those first few fish right away, and then can't get these other ones to bite. Let's see, what do we got? It's very some weeds, a lot of matted down weeds. It's perch. Probably just small perch is what I'm seeing. There's not much down there to see, but I kind of see them in the distance. Looks real fishy though. Real fishy, nice weedy bottom. There's a fish down there. Freaking coming for it instantly. There you go. A little perch. I think that's a lot of these fish I'm marking. They're not really biting, and I think because they're all these small perch. Been hole hopping around now for probably 20 minutes, just between 4 holes, and that's my first fish since that bass. It's just kind of weird how you catch a couple nice bluegill, and then nothing. Pop the camera down there, a bunch of weeds. I really want to find a spot to set up the shack, because I am cold. And everything's going to start freezing here. My wax rooms are frozen right now, which is not good. Minnows are probably freezing. I'm going to find a different spot for these wax rooms. Definitely some nice marks down there. It's got to be bluegill. They look aggressive. I don't know, a lot of fish. Jesus. Well, guys, I'm trying to hole up around and find these fish. Not having much luck yet, but a flag just went up. I haven't seen it spin. Maybe dropped it. There's nothing on it. Ooh, there's a little weight there. Might be a fish, actually. No, I dropped it. Minnow is still there. Got down in the weeds. Fish. Catching bait basically out here. There's just small perch down there. I don't get it. There's a fish. Oh, he freaking missed it. Looked like a nice mark. Came out of nowhere. He's coming back up for it. Eat it. Got him. That's the biggest perch of the day. It's been a while since we caught a fish. Just Not marking much. Making a whole grid pattern and it's been slow. It started off hot. I had high hopes. Another fish coming up. More, quite a few. Biting pretty soft, small perch. Why is there so many small perch? Where's the bluegill? All these perch are eating good. They're just tiny, but they're freaking fat. Pop the underwater camera down there and just see what it looks like. Probably a small perch, if I had to guess. Where are the bluegill? Right by a down tree, and I think there'd be fish around it. Some pretty good structure, but no fish. Don't understand. Ugh. Perch. A lot of perch in here. We're about 15 yards from shore, so I guess that's kind of cool. And we're in just under 10 feet of water. I have no clue where these fish are, or at least the big ones. Well guys, it's been real slow, still trying to find these fish. And we got a flag up. That's the third flag of the day, and this one hasn't gone up yet. I honestly didn't think there was a minnow on it. We'll see what it is. Probably a bass. Ooh, she's running good. Might be a northern. That was a big run. Nothing on it. Had to be a bass, just run with it. Minnow's gone. Classic. Well guys, it's just a few minutes past noon here, and I think I'm gonna pull the plug. Started off really hot. First hole we caught 4 fish within minutes, 2 being nice bluegill, 2 keepers. And I caught another smaller bluegill and a small perch, and so I figured I'd set tips around here, and instantly within a minute of putting my second tip up down, we caught that bass. And then I hole hopped around for a while, probably in a 100-yard radius of where I set up my tip ups, and hardly marking any fish. Caught a handful of small perch, quite a few small perch, but couldn't catch another bluegill. We were anywhere from 10 to 15 feet of water, and it was just a lot of matted weeds. There was no real I don't know, lively vegetation. I think if we would have found more weeds, some taller weeds, I think we would have found some panfish. So I might not have been in the right area. We probably fished, I don't know, 1/6 of the lake, and it's hard pulling this sled and walking in like 4 or 5 inches of snow. So I'm not trying to kill myself. I've already done that on a different lake a couple weekends ago, but access was fairly easy, and I tried to be as mobile as I could, and I think I did pretty well. Definitely would have been like to been more mobile by using the side-by-side, but there's no way to get down here. The banks are too steep, and I don't think I'd be able to get it up. So we're gonna pick up. To drill a lot of holes, and we couldn't find the bluegill. I'm sure they're in here. I see them in the summer along the shoreline. It's just stacked, but I don't know if they're in deeper water. There's a deeper hole way out in the middle, probably like 200 yards away, but I don't feel like walking to that. I was hoping to find them in here, which I don't know why. It just doesn't make sense to me why the first hole we drilled we catch two real respectable ones, and then you can't catch any more. It just doesn't make sense. But it was fun trying out a new lake. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.